of Check That Post podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and these are my beautiful co hosts,
Queen.
And Christina.
and we're happy that y'all are joining us on tonight. Tonight's topic, we'll be talking about red flags in relationships, whether it be family, friends, boss, anybody. How to recognize those red flags and what to do about it. So, we're going to get right into our Dear Jen letter. By the way, this comes from a male. We don't get too many male Dear Jens.
And it's pretty lengthy too, so
Yes, it is.
let's hear what he's talking about.
Dear Jen, I never thought I'd be writing a letter like this, but I feel like I'm losing myself in my own marriage, and I don't know what to do anymore. I love my wife. I've always have, but lately I've noticed things that don't sit right with me. At first, I ignored them, thinking I was overreacting, but they kept happening, and now I feel trapped between staying silent and or confronting something that might break us. She's always been strong-willed, which I admire, but over time, it's turned into control. Every decision, every decision, big or small, has to go through her. What I wear, who I talk to, how I spend my free time. It all has to align with what she wants. If I disagree, she either shuts me out completely or makes me feel guilty for questioning her. The hardest part is how she isolates me from the people who matter. I used to be close to my family and friends, but she's always found a way to make me feel bad for wanting to spend time with them. She'll say things like, I guess I'm not enough for you, or act hurt until I give in. It's like she wants me all to herself, but I'm suffocating. Then there's the way she speaks to me, cutting remarks, constant criticism, or jokes at my expense that don't feel like jokes anymore. If I bring it up, she either laughs it off or tells me I'm being too sensitive. But I'm starting to feel like I'm walking on eggshells in my own home, afraid to say the wrong thing that would set off another argument or make her withdraw her affection. I've also caught her in lies, small ones at first, but they've added up. When I question her, she turns it around on me, making me feel like I'm the one who's paranoid or imagining things. And lately, she's become secretive, hiding her phone, staying out late with no real explanation, and getting defensive when I ask about it. Jen, I don't know how much longer I could do this. I hope I keep hoping things will change, that maybe she'll see how much it's hurting me, but deep down I wonder, what if this is who she really is? What if I've been hoping for something that isn't coming? How do I talk to her about without making things worse? And if nothing changes, how do I even begin to walk away from a marriage I thought would last forever? Lost and drowning. Well, that's deep.
That was a lot.
Seems like
Yes.
the tables turned.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, sir, I need to think about it for a minute. Because that's a lot.
It is, and I would definitely first and foremost say yes. You definitely need to, no matter how hard it's gonna be, no matter what the outcome is gonna be, you're definitely gonna have to, just suck it up and have that conversation with her. Because if you don't, it's not gonna the way it's weighing on you right now
Mm-hmm.
is gonna continue to weigh on you even more if you don't get that off your chest. If you don't get that up out of you, then it's just gonna weigh on you even stronger. It's
Yes.
gonna get worse. I know from experience. I used to hold stuff in a lot as well, and it got to where I held it in until boom, it exploded, and it when something explodes, it's not usually a pretty sight, so you don't want to get to where you have to explode, if you're just constantly releasing, letting her know how you feel, or what she does makes you feel, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes, we might do stuff that, our partner might not like, but your partner might not never know because you don't never express it. You might be so upset, or you might just feel so uneasy when your partner does a certain thing, but you never let your partner know that. Or you might have said it once, but everybody knows that we learn off of repetition. Like you're never gonna be able to just tell somebody something, one time every single time, and they gonna always get it that first time.
Right.
But we're not perfect. Nobody's built like that. You do have some people that they have that photographic memory, where they just remember everything that you tell them, everything that you say. That's very, very rare. But I'm just saying that, we're not perfect. So, if you have to tell somebody something more than once, like, just let them know. Like, sometimes we need reminders. We forget stuff all the time.
Yes.
Like, the point of being in that relationship or having that partner is for you to be able to have that person that you can come to and express however you are feeling. So if you don't have that safe space with your partner, y'all kind of need to reevaluate anyway. Go back to square one or square two, whatever, get back to if you ever were even in that space. But that's definitely a space that I feel like is very necessary when it comes to relationships. You have to be able to feel comfortable with your partner expressing how you feel, and they have to be able to do the same. So.
Yes. And sir, I'm sorry, but staying out all night with no explanation is a no-no. I mean, y'all are married. Once you become one, that shuts that down.
Right.
If she's staying out all night and she's with you, that's one thing.
Right.
But you at home and she out in the street or wherever all night long, it don't take all night to do nothing.
And the fact that you don't even know what she's doing, that's insane.
You need to shut that down. Or she need to shut it down. But sounds like she lost respect somewhere along the line. To me, sounds like she has definitely, you say you admire the strong-willedness. Find a way to look at it on the positive side. Let's start there first. Try to find something positive in it. If you can't find nothing positive in it, shut it down.
That kind of tell you your answer right there. Okay.
Yes. Do she love you still? Do she still want to be with you? Because sound like she don't. Not to make light of your situation.
No,
by no means.
Not at all.
But that's a lot.
Yeah, and I understand how it can be scary, to know that, or feel like, I know I'm about to ask this, but I know I really don't want the answer to this question because I don't want to deal with what's going to come behind it. But, sometimes when you ignore it even longer, like, it makes it even worse when it is time, because that time is still going to come, whether it's going to come tomorrow, whether it's going to come a month from now, 5 years from now, that time is still going to come. It usually doesn't get any better.
Got to deal with it.
Right.
Got to sit down and have that hard conversation.
Right. Yeah.
Tell her how you feel. Tell her you don't feel respected. Find out what the deeper issue is. Like this, a A lot of this is surface. A lot of this can be handled. You can get past this.
Right.
But you got to face it and confront it and handle it.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, go ahead.
I was just gonna inject that, and make sure that you're not the culprit, you know.
Right.
And because there's maybe some things that you're doing that cause her to behave like that, you know, and which sounds like from what I'm hearing, not just with you, but with just anybody, a lot of those things you pointed out is unacceptable in relationships. You know? Nobody wants to be disrespected in the relationship, but communication is very much the key.
Yes.
And so we can write down what the other person is doing, but always examine yourself.
Right.
You know, before we start pointing the finger at somebody else, take the time to examine yourself and make sure that you got it, together. That you're not the one that is sparking, having a spark to these fires. You know, that has been they keep burning. You know, because with females, well, majority of the time, if a female starts to disrespect you, it's a whole bunch of stuff that she just kept quiet on.
Yes.
And so, and then when she's fed up and I don't care spirit, you know, then the men a lot of times they look at that as, or the person's treating them real bad, but you always got to go back to the beginning. How were you treating each other in the beginning? And when you find yourself in on middle ground, you stop and say, okay, well, did this start here? Was this in the beginning? I didn't see it because in the beginning of a relationship, you can get away with anything because you fresh to each other.
Right.
You know, you love each other, so you don't. Your eyes is just seeing love because you're learning each other.
Right.
But as we all know, as adults, you take a little while and get to know each other. It ain't so much that you become old to each other; you just familiar with each other's ways.
Right.
And so you gotta find new ways to explore in the relationship. And as a female, I would say when your partner tends when you see that he's kind of moved in left field with his communication, if you can grab a hold to him, try to do as much as you can to make sure that you kind of holding them at a standstill, in a place where you learning more about him and how when is he releasing, the disrespect. And so when you start to learn more and more about your partner, now you can be more watchful, if he starts to do it in front of people, because a lot of times that comes across, that the disrespect is so terrible in front of people or even in front of your children. And this is not just with relationship with a spouse or, that disrespect can go through with family members and friends, go through the same thing with, feel like, oh, you're so comfortable with each other. Oh, that's my mama. No, mom still and dad still, you still got to give them that respect as well, you almost like you grown, but your respect stays as that little child. I'm not disrespecting my parents. And you're not gonna allow anybody else, to disrespect your parent. But it's crazy when you won't allow somebody else to disrespect them, but you disrespect them. And that's the crazy part about it. But when we learn each other, and the one thing that we can keep in mind is that we're here to make each other happy. And we work on that. When we don't let stuff be keep getting hot over and over and over, and then you release it, because when you release it, now you the corporate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
look
like,
at
oh,
you
she,
crazy.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And so you don't want to be it like that. Just sit down. You know, even if you got to put it in a note, that person may not feel like talking, because you don't have to talk right then. When it's there, go get you a piece of paper or get your recorder out and just release it right there. And then maybe tomorrow, you know, might be a better day for you to go and communicate about what made you feel.
Right.
You didn't like how they made you feel.
The main thing is the lack of communication. When you recognize those red flags, I don't care if it's your boss, I don't care your coworker, I don't care who it is. You don't have to tolerate no disrespect from nobody.
Right.
So if you just feel like, okay, this is my boss, he pays me my check, which allows me to pay my bills. So even though you feel in a way, you're not gonna just fly off the handle right then and there. Take that smart device you got in your hand that you're looking at 24/7. Go in the bathroom, break room, wherever. Record how you feel, what's on your chest, and woosah, get it out. Because I'm telling you, if you keep holding that in, and you go back out and do your job, you're gonna snap on somebody. It may not be the boss, but because you feeling the way for being disrespected by your boss, then you're gonna take it out on somebody.
Right.
Now, it's easy for me to sit up here and say. It's easy for me to sit up here and say that because I got a habit of when I'm feeling something, I gotta get it off. But I'm not just gonna get it off on somebody that's, that I know ain't got nothing to do with the situation.
Right.
If I feel like you disrespect me, I'm gonna check you right then and there. But I got a way to do it where you're gonna know I'm checking you, but it ain't gonna be in a mean, hateful, nasty, like crazy way. But you gotta know I'm checking you. Because at this point in my life, and as old as I am, okay, we gonna do this? Okay, let's handle this. So if you feel like, okay, well, this is my boss, I don't want to just go off on him, but I feel disrespected. Get your phone out, record how you feel, and send it to him. Send it to him in an email. Send it to him in a text. You don't want to do that? Go to his office. Hey, can I talk to you for a moment? Communicate. Tell him how you feel. I feel like this is not right. That I should be allowed to voice how I feel. Okay, how you feel about it. That's what you feel. You talking about how you feel. It's supposed to be an open door policy, right? Okay then. Tell them how you feel. If it's your coworker, that's different. They ain't paying you. They disrespecting you or crossing those boundaries, check them. Because you don't have to tolerate that. Notice the red flags. Pay attention. If it's your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, even if it's your child. Red flags pop up everywhere. Right. Don't ignore the red flags. Handle it.
Even your own red flags.
Yeah. You gotta check yourself too. Maybe I'm tripping.
Absolutely.
If you gotta record yourself talking to yourself or talking to, we make it a thing like, okay, if I talk to myself, I'm supposed to be so-called cuckoo. No, you gotta look at yourself and say, girl, you was wrong for that.
Right.
Be a grown woman.
Absolutely.
Acknowledge, take accountability for the things that you say and do. Red flags come in all kind of shapes, forms, and, just take care of it. Your family sometimes, they be doing that toxic stuff constantly. A lot of people don't like to be around their family for that very reason. Right. They ain't with the drama.
Right.
But whatever it takes for you to have your peace of mind is all I'm saying. Watch out for the red flags. If you go to this cookout You're gonna get triggered because your third, fourth, fifth, sixth cousin gonna say something about what you used to do. Don't go. Just don't go. Just watch out for the red flags. Doesn't matter who it's coming from. So, sir, get back to you. I know we can go on and on and on.
No.
Especially about them red flags.
Don't tolerate the disrespect. Keep those boundaries in place, and don't allow them to cross those boundaries. Don't let them to gaslight you, because people got a habit of they just like brushing stuff off. Oh, I just playing, girl. Nah, we ain't playing.
Yeah,
you saying how you really
jokes,
feel,
right? Watch them jokes, because them really be for real.
Yes. And then when you said that she want to have you to herself, want everybody else, you don't talk to nobody but her. Ain't I enough for you? Shut that down. Red flag. Pay attention.
Control.
Excessive jealousy and possession. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, gotta arrest that kind of stuff.
That goes both ways, men and women.
Yes.
Red flag. Love bombing. That's when they overwhelm you with excessive attention and affection. Gifts. Then they become controlling and distant. Another form of gaslighting.
Right.
Emotional unavailability. That's one. Woo! Don't want to talk. Silent treatment.
Right.
Red flag. Don't want to take accountability.
Right.
Red flag.
Or not able to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Constant criticism. Yep.
Because what you put up with from the beginning is going to be expected for you to continue to put up with.
Yes. So you establish those boundaries and those requirements, whatever it is that you need. Y'all had them hard conversations.
Right.
Get them the opportunity to express, what they feel. Then you can't be surprised because they told you.
Right.
Yeah. It's so crazy though, because like sitting down, actually having those hard conversations, like I swear, it's like every time it happens, it's like you be like, wow. I know for me, I'd be like, dang, I wish I would have been did this, or I wish I would have been asked this, because we probably could have been, on this level versus this level. If I would have asked this a long time ago, like that probably would have, eliminated some of, my trust factors, or, just a bunch of different doors, that just having that uncomfortable conversation can knock down, when you're doing it ahead of time instead of waiting until something happens or a couple of things happen and it piles up, and then now it's like boom, and you can't handle all this stuff at one time.
Yes.
But when you're going along the way and you're just, keeping those lines open constantly, like it just makes things so much easier. It makes things flow so much better.
The frequent line. That's one right there. Like that is unnecessary. As a grown up an adult, a little small so-called white lie. There ain't no white lies. A lie is a lie is a lie all day long. So how you supposed to trust somebody if they constantly telling lies and you catching them in lies?
Right.
Own what you do. Own what you say.
Yeah.
Say what you mean. Suspicious behavior. Stop. Secretive. Deleting messages or hiding the phone. Come on, y'all.
Right.
2025. Unnecessary.
Right. And stop trying to make your partner feel like that they are beneath you. And if there's things that is unacceptable going on in the relationship, stop trying to make them think that they have head problems. There ain't nothing going on. Or you just thinking that when is it now?
Right.
You always got something to say. You coming up with something, and this ain't happening, that ain't happening. And a lot of times it is what they say it is. But stop trying to make them think that there's something wrong with them. Because there's nothing wrong with them, and it's only that something wrong with them when they point out the stuff that you're doing.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the worst thing that anybody in relationship can do to their partner is to try to make them think that there's something wrong with them.
Yes.
You know?
Or make them think they didn't see what they saw.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You over here flirting, and I'm looking at you flirting, but you gonna swap it down. Oh, it ain't like that.
Right.
Oh, it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Right.
Excessive mood swings. He want to get mad, or she want to get mad, start a fight, just so you can leave or they can leave. Red flag. Like, this is stuff that's constantly happening, and your mind telling you, watch out, but you ignoring it because the so-called benefits.
Yeah.
You better weigh that. Is it worth it? Only you can answer that.
Right.
The double standards. What goes for you, you can't do what I do. Nah, that ain't how we operate in 2025. Well, it's always been that way.
Right.
It's good for you, it's good for me. Okay. Excessive mood swings. Going from 0 to 1,000. That's another reason. Get out the house. Leave you sitting there. What I do? You ain't did nothing.
Figure out what happened.
It ain't you, it's them.
That was all a part of the plan the whole time.
Yes. Irresponsibility with money. Ain't never got no money. Work, so they say, working all day long.
Right.
But always broke. Ain't got nothing for the bills. Leaving you emotionally distressed, worrying, trying to figure out how you gonna do this and how you gonna do that. Come on, y'all. Let's do better. Let's do better. Okay. Let's see. It's all kind of ways to notice red flags, but I guess what to do if you notice the red flags is where we should go from here. What you do is up to you. Don't ignore it because it don't get no better.
Don't ignore them. Yeah, definitely don't ignore them. I say, if you see a red flag, speak on it. You know, let your partner know that, you know, you ain't got to say, hey, I noticed the red flag with you. You know, just be like, look, you know, I noticed.
This ain't working for me.
I noticed this. I noticed that you do this when I do this, or you react this way when I do this certain thing. Like, tell me about why, you know, this triggers you, or this makes you feel. How does this make you feel? Like, why are you reacting this way? So just have that conversation. Like, it's all at the end of the day. The day got it. No, this way.
The day got it in.
At the end of the day, for real, like, you gotta have that conversation. It's like ignoring it is never, in my opinion, never a good idea. It's never gonna turn out good, especially because if it's a red flag for you, it's always gonna be a red flag for you. Like, it's not like, you know, just because you ignored it, you know, it's gonna go away. Like, it's still gonna be a red flag, and it's gonna probably
either way
get set on fire. You know, eventually the flag is gonna, you know, catch fire because you're not doing anything about it. So, you know, instead of just letting it pile up, just go ahead and just mention it right then and there. Like, that way you can either, boom, okay, I can't deal with the red flag. This is a deal breaker for me. If you need to go on and go on about your way, then do that. But don't keep, you know, hanging on, knowing that this is an issue for you and it's gonna always be an issue for you, just so you can live in that moment, in that time with that person. Like, just, you know, 9 times out of 10, if you have that conversation, that person can at least, you know, explain why, you know, the whys, and if they're even willing to work on that red flag, you know, to ease your mind a little bit about it, you know, because some stuff can be worked out and compromised through, you know, but some stuff can't. So,
Right.
What you want to do is acknowledge your situation and what you've done by writing in. Having an honest conversation, letting them know how you feel. Figure out what you want to do about it or how you want to move from there. Set boundaries and stand firm. Like if they try to play it off like, oh, it ain't that serious, or it wasn't this way or that way, you know, that's that making you think you didn't see what you saw or hear what you heard. Seek support. You ain't got to do it alone. Y'all can go counseling if y'all choose to. If you don't, then you got to figure out what you're going to do from there. You don't have to stand in it. There's always another way to handle it. And if you can't figure it out by yourself, then seek counseling. Know when to walk away. If it's not working for you, you done had the hard conversations, you done tried and tried again, and it's just not working, you do what's best for you.
Right, absolutely.
In a healthy way.
right.
Walk away. Maybe that's just not your person. Even if you've been married for such amount of years and, you know, y'all can't come to an agreement or mutual understanding, and people say they fall out of love or grow apart. Maybe that's the case. Move on. Don't waste no more of your time. Sometimes things just don't work out. Maybe they just wasn't your person. You know.
But if you catch the red flags beforehand, then you won't have to worry about it getting to that point where you're having to, you know, distance yourself from each other. In life, whether you married or you just got that significant other, you're gonna face a whole lot of challenges that comes through. It's about how much you want to stick in there with that person, how much you realize is that you gotta fight for what you want. Life is not like just given to you on a flower bed. There's some things you're gonna go through. There's some things that you're gonna find out about your partner that you did not know was there. Stuff that wasn't visible, and they wasn't vocal about it. But when you do find them, instead of when it does come to light, instead of getting frustrated and upset, it would be a good idea to try to, you know, let them help you find out about and how to deal with the situation that's going on with them. You know, because there's a lot of things at play. Because you can be 80 years old and still dealing with stuff in your childhood. You know, sometimes, you know, you may not like how your parents raised you, but in that era that your parents grew up in, that when they had you, probably didn't have a lot of money, you know, good housing or whatever. But because you compare yourself with maybe your kids' generation and how things flowed in their life, but however you look at it on those things, what you didn't like as a child growing up, sometimes that stuff is still in the heart. You got to be able to decipher everything about that situation. You know, you can't blame your parents because in that era of their life, they couldn't afford it. But you could always pat yourself on the back if you were able to afford it to buy for your children.
Right.
You know, and then you teaching your children how to go out there and do better. Because I always think that I did the best I could for my children, and I expect my children to do even better than I did for them.
Right.
You know, but life is just like it's a whole bunch of things that's going along in there. What makes it better is you go through something with that person, but you loving that person, you staying there with them, because not only do sickness take us down, you know, you can be right there at home with the person and still feel lonely.
Yes.
Feel like that you don't have them, that
Right.
your mind can be on Johnny, Susie Mae across town somewhere, and you
Not
got your
Susie
spouse
Mae.
right there in the house with you, but your brain is speaking across, you know, the nation somewhere about
Right.
somebody else, you know. And so, you know, that kind of stuff happens, and you got to be able to be like, no, I don't. I got my partner right here, and I want them to feel, you know, just as special. So it's a lot of work in relationship.
It is.
And you can't go into a relationship wanting that person to be perfect,
Right.
because it's not gonna happen.
It sure ain't.
You know, no matter what you do,
Right.
it's not gonna happen. You know, and don't sweat that small stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not like gonna bother you to pick up behind the person, sometimes pick it up. It's small. You know, I don't want to step over the stuff because I don't want to fall. I don't want to step into stuff because I don't like ooey stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do what I need to do instead of me fussing about something that they haven't learned how to be controlled in that era. Then instead of me doing all that fussing, especially if I'm at home all day, why am I crying? That just gave me something else to do. You know, but it doesn't mean that person just gonna always do that. But let's not sweat the small stuff in a relationship. Try to be the best that we can be. Be the best partner that we can be.
Right.
You know, because we got children looking behind us, looking at us and seeing what we're doing. And even if there wasn't children in the house, whatever you do in the house, you know, your same movements is gonna be done on the outside of the house. But somebody is gonna be looking. You know, but you to have a happy home, like I say, it ain't gonna be perfect, but to have that happy home, each of you have to do the work.
Yes.
And it does take work. You know, and if you love each other and your main goal is you my ride or die, we in it for life, you know. And when I leave here, then you got something. When you leave here, then I got something. You know?
And I know this ain't easy to hear, but sometimes love is just not enough to sustain a marriage. Especially when one partner refuses to change. If she continues to control, belittle, isolate, lie, staying with on cause more harm, more emotional damage.
Absolutely.
Ask yourself, can I see myself living like this for the rest of my life? Have I expressed my needs clearly? And has she made any real efforts to change? Am I staying out of love or for fear of leaving or for the kids? You got to decide. But at the end of the day, I hope you choose what's best for you. And I hope we said something that, you know, might help you in your situation. Nobody wants to hear that the person that they profess to love and married allow themselves to be, well, changed on you, for lack of better words. Because obviously it was a change, because obviously if she had showed the true colors beforehand, you wouldn't have married her, I'm sure. But, you know, people wear masks, and when that mask slipped and you're allowed to see, believe when a person show you who they are.
Or something could have happened, along the way. So, if she does express, what that something was that made her, feel differently towards you, or made her feel differently about the relationship, try to take accountability if there's, something that you had a hand in, on the way that she switched up, because something,
you gotta look at that too.
There had to be, something to occur, but again, she could have been, just hiding the true her the whole time, or all these years. That definitely happens, to men, with men and women. So,
right,
but you will never know until you sit down and have that conversation with her.
You both deserve a relationship where you feel heard, valued, and safe.
right.
And if you know within yourself it wasn't nothing that you did, and it just turned out to be the way that it is, maybe she's outgrown or just fell out of love. How you could do that, but I guess it does happen. Then y'all sit down and have a conversation and decide what you're gonna do from there. Simple as that. People make stuff so hard and so complicated. Life too short.
Yeah.
You don't have to remain with that person. If y'all it ain't working out, separate, move on, get on with life.
And make sure it's between the two of you, and you haven't added other people in to persuade you to make a decision
for you.
Because it's just like in your family that you grew up with, sisters and brothers, they had spats and stuff and betray each other, fall out all the time, and but we can't delete each other.
Right.
Picture me trying to delete my sister.
You still gonna be my sister.
Right.
We may not be speaking, but you
right.
still my sister.
Still your sister. So I can delete your number out my phone and ride by your house, don't speak and stuff. But hey, we sisters.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, we
same
sisters.
thing with friends.
Yeah, and like, oh, you said this, you was talking about me. The thing I think about that with friends, I may not like when my best friend, if my best friend was talking about me, I may not like the fact that she was talking about me, but if anybody got a right to talk about me, will be my best friend.
Right, yeah.
So ain't no need me tripping about that, getting all upset and you ain't my best friend no more.
Right.
Because it's something that I done did that's probably caused her to go that route talking about me, and so, we have our little, spats here and there, and sometimes we don't talk, but we know what the deal is. We know that one friend or two friends we might have, they down with us. Anything happen, they come. Well, I'm still mad at you. I'm gonna hit you right here, but I'm still
but
mad.
I'm on the
you
way.
ain't apologize, but I'm still mad at. Don't call me no more. Don't call my phone no more. And then you call it again. But yeah.
But those are true friends.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't talking about those so-called friends.
Right.
That's putting your dirt in the street.
Right.
When y'all fall out. We ain't talking about them. Them ain't friends.
Right.
Them associates. We ain't talking about them. Or sleeping with your man, trying to get you to leave him so they can sleep. We ain't talking about them type of friends.
Right.
No, we talking about real friends.
Real friends.
Like we talking about real relationships.
Right.
Like we talking about real family.
Right.
And I know somebody gonna say, well, sometimes your family be the one stab you in the back. Well, we talking about the real. And y'all know what I'm saying when I'm talking about the real. Blood. And with spiritual blood, I ain't talking about, because anybody can be persuaded to do anything. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that you can go to and they got your back no matter what. But you got to recognize the red flags in all your relationships. That's what we're talking about tonight. And we hope y'all got something out of it. You can write a Dear Jen letter like he did. And sir, we hope we helped you out with it. To check that postpod at gmail.com. You can send a text to 866-311-2251 if you prefer to text. Follow us on all social medias. Check that post pod and check that post
On TikTok,
podcast,
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, we ain't on X.
Yeah.
So, but we always upload a new episode every week, and we pretty much do this every Thursday. So,
Thanks for listening.
thanks for joining us.
Check that post.
Yeah.
And check your posts.